Joanna.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, Joanna's the one that we have trouble with. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone, man.
Tell her to be professional.
That's right. Trying to set the tone, but we lost her somehow when you hit record.
I know. I bumped her off.
Yeah. She said, if I have to be professional, I am out of this shit.
That's right.
I'm out of here. Nice. Well, I guess while we wait for her, man, I had a good little talk last night. One of the guys in Xander's program. Oh, welcome back. Hello.
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 Joanna went with the iPhone. We're messing with you. I don't know.
All right, here we go. I swear, it's not even funny to me anymore because I've been up for half an hour trying to get this straight. Okay.
It's still funny to us.
Yeah, one of these days you're going to be like, we're changing the number. We're not going to tell her.
We're easily amused. We like these kind of things.
That's right.
Like,
well, not the accountable that I like to be known for, but.
Like I said, Matthew and I feel very strongly that we're going to keep you professional.
That's
funny. Because you're the link here as far as professionalism.
Yeah, we're going to start my part of the meeting at 15 minutes early, and then,
All right. So let's today's a work day, so we'll have to, there's not too much mucking around here. Two things. So for me, Matt, one, I think we talk about what the offerings are that we're going to have. My wife's going to go to BTS. So this week she's going to take it kind of easy. And then when she comes back, we're going to look, she's going to work, she's going to see, put it this way, she's kind of transitioning from the old job to the new job here a little bit. And I don't want to be like, get on this, right away. So I'm going to let her ease into it a little bit.
What kind of boss are you?
We're married, and so you know how painful that joke is.
Yeah. I don't even live full time, and it's enough.
Right?
I'm recording this, so I'm being very careful about what I say here. But she's going to look in to see if she can work on something right away. But we're getting a quote from a web designer that a friend of ours uses that we really trust. So we're going to see what that is to at least get something up and started. So our question today is offerings, and I think we should also talk about the book, Matthew, and get refocused on that. Because we were working really hard for a while, and then we kind of missed one of our deadlines, and all of a sudden it just kind of, went away.
Yeah, I need to know where you are with that. Catch me up.
I gotta be honest, I don't want to work on the book yet.
No?
Well, the reason I bring that up, talking about the offerings, I really like the idea of putting together a keynote speech again and just just changing it up to the choice is your superpower. I feel like I have a little more direction with that. And then I also like the idea of doing my weekend boot camp or a 6-hour boot camp online, like different ways to kind of generate some money, but I can still be talking about this choice is your superpower. Because that would actually get me going while we're also working on the online workshop that we're putting together, the online program, the flagship program. Not that I can't write a little bit, but I really want to get those done because that is something I can start doing immediately and start earning money and start being a coach and start moving away where I can free up more time if I can get away from this job in the schedule. So I don't know what other things were you guys going to be working on with these offerings that we talked about on Saturday?
Right. I just want to make sure I got this down. So you want a choice is your superpower keynote, and then you want to work on a boot camp.
Well, yes, and the reason I was thinking the boot camp, because that could be a longer like keynote, just stretch it out more, have the PowerPoint or a presentation that I use, and then do it like for 4 or 6 hours on a Sunday, and then just put it out there. Say, hey, I got this boot camp. Let me teach you how your choice is your superpower. Let's get some clarity on what you want and get you moving in life. It's $500. It's $1,000. I don't know that part yet, but if I did that like once a month, that could be. I think that'd be pretty fun, pretty cool.
Yeah, and thinking about it, it might be a good tie-in to have like the online content and saying, look, it builds to this point, right? You build to a live event kind of thing.
Yeah.
And see how that goes. Okay, so that's what you're thinking about. All right. How about you, Joanna?
Well, I kind of went through my offerings with you guys last week. I've got tons of content for any kind of real estate professionals, broker owners. That's really my target audience for that. Anybody that owns an office or runs an office, or a special event. Bounce is my women in transition presentation. Giving back through passion would be the how to tie your passions in with your give back and still, you don't have to wait till you retire to do. I mean, my Nicaragua, the jewelry thing. Lifestyle design is the name of my coaching product. I do have a Facebook page for that. It's not particularly active, but that's a non-real estate, non-professional, but obviously applicable to all those. And then women in leadership, you mentioned that. And I mean, that's not anything I've ever put down in an offering, but makes a lot of sense and would be pretty simple to do. Just going back to the book for 1 second, what were you guys basically putting this, what was the book? Just so I kind of know where you're going with it, because the idea that I had last week, and we were just on such a roll, I didn't want to interrupt, but I think once we have the modules and the weeks down, that is all the book is potentially, if you guys aren't going a different direction with it, is just putting it in writing. And that can even be done partially on our end, partially by somebody that knows how to do that. So I have the software up in Aurora. It's called Dictation Dragon. And even just reading.
That's what Chris wants.
Oh, yeah, you have it? Or you want it?
That's what he wants, yeah.
It was Dragon Speaking, but maybe I'm wrong. Dictation Dragon?
Yeah, Sounds like the same thing. Yeah, it's pretty similar to that, Joanna. We've been just trying to compile the stories of like how the principles or the learning moments have affected us. And the idea is like I will tell a story of, say, my Nike tattoo, on how it's on my body and it's just do it, and the mindset's got to be just go get it, and I tell the story about it, and then like Chris can then have a part under it about how he unpacks the story, his vision of the story and how it's using the principles, and then you could come in and give and so that way you're kind of hitting it from a few different angles, so people go, oh, I'm understanding and I see clearly how you use those principles in real life.
So even just keeping, a journal, preferably in a Google document or something that can be shared, but just as we're creating, things are going to come up naturally for us. Or when you guys say, now, Chris, I know where you're going with that story about the Wonder Woman shoot. You said that's a talk, but it's a chapter.
Yeah.
It's a story linked to one of the principles.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at, one Jack Canfield's book, but if you look at another book that I really liked, which was The Magic of Thinking Big, if you look at like the way the structure a lot of these things is I make a point and then I tell some kind of story around it, just like Jack says. The stories kind of tie down a concept.
Right. Okay. Well, that way I can kind of work alongside you guys, and I understand where Matt's going with this, with getting a valuable product out and monetizing this fast. I think the book is important to get the speaking engagements, but if we don't have a product, then what are we selling anyway? So I think these could go along parallel pretty well. But
well, then we'll put it this way. Let's look at what our target is to have our minimum viable product done on our website and our content, because that says, okay, we can, this is what we're targeting to get done. And then we can kind of work from there. So before we go on though, I want to make sure I've captured everything, and maybe you could just send me a little, I think one thing for us all to do, and maybe this is the next action item, is to say, okay, we know what our offerings are, and now what is our blurb, kind of our what it is blurb for it that you would want on the website, and say, Matt, my boot camp teaches you blah, blah, blah. Joanna, for broker owners in real estate, I have this for my balance and women, give me the blurb that you would want to see on a website, at least an initial draft. So for me, I think that's probably the next step for us on this, is kind of define what it's going to look like on the website. So if we can put it up there, I mean, we're not talking about, Shakespeare. We're talking about the minimum viable product that looks professional. I'd also like to get from you guys is, so I'm assigning homework. Excuse me. So give me your parts that you would want to see on the website describing your offering. So describe offering.
Joanna, are you going to undo all of those programs at once? Like, you're ready to go on all those things you just talked about?
I could do any of them in a keynote or half-day workshop. The thing is, it's all the same stuff. It's just the audience's tweets.
Okay.
I mean, Downs has a little bit different principles than, say, a real estate group would, but they incorporate all the principles. And then a lot of these products I've had for a while, it's just using them again.
Okay. Nice.
I've been speaking in real estate, for 10 years. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I was just kind of curious on that. So that's awesome that you already have something to go. And Chris, you said, you could speak on Kappa whenever somebody says go, right? I mean, you're pretty much ready to go for that.
Yeah, I just went through this training with 2 different companies. So
nice.
Just, making sure that I've scrubbed it so it's all my content. What I do is I tweak it for the business I'm in, because they have a specific Kappa, document, right? So they've got a document. Yeah. But I literally could I just take the stuff out and go, okay, this is going to be what my presentation is. Okay.
But the reason I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. You go ahead. I was going to ask you guys your opinion, because I was trying to work on this the other day, and I was putting together, like you said, that little blurb about what the offering is. And as I was doing the boot camp and thinking about our online thing, that's more aimed at individuals. And then as I was going to do something for the keynote for business, and the reason I want to do that is I'm part of that NSA, the National Speakers Organization or Association, and they've been asking me for like a blurb and my picture and like what I offer. And I told them I'd get that as soon as I could, but I'm still kind of working on it. But it was funny, the more I was thinking about it, I was like, Jesus, it just feels like I'm going to talk to people about finding their purpose in life, and they're all going to want to quit their jobs. And I said, for a company keynote, that's probably not a great idea as far as that goes. And I was just wondering if you guys had a good thought about just how Choice is Your Superpower could just be aimed at a business keynote type speech that I could do. That's not so much about purpose and like individual passion. Do you know what I mean? How would you guys put that to a business?
I think you just tweak it a little bit, because I think it's still a relevant talk, because, I get reignited in my real estate world, not because I love the job so much. It's because it's getting me to that next thing that I do love. Not the next thing being quit my job. It's the money to travel. It's the ability to, make this place my haven. I get reignited work when I think about why I'm working. So I think that is still relevant. And maybe those are just some of the some of the language you throw in there of, yeah, I mean, we don't all love being here at 7:35 in the morning, joking about the room, but you want to make sure your kids have the college fund or whatever. Just, I think you can just some simple language tie that piece together. I think it's really important. That's what we don't get in the business world. And why I think what you bring to the table for the business world is key, and why, I mean, you're not going to be the basic guy about workforce environment or, you know, all the other things that they have to choose from.
Okay.
So just look, I've got some things that I've already I embed in the Kappa training.
Okay.
Which are towards us. So we can talk about this. One of the things that might be good for us as far as commonalities to talk to businesses is the book Launching a Leadership Revolution. It's an awesome book, and it takes the principles from Jack Canfield. There's very similar, but it's very leadership business oriented. So you think about what Kathleen Seeley, you know, her massively human leadership. So to be able to be an expert on leadership and what are the qualities and how do you do that, that might be a good book for us all to be looking at, so we're talking the same language, because I use a lot of that in my corporate speech. And one of the things that I have is, and let's see if this sounds familiar. Let me go grab the quote here from my book.
Launching a Leadership Revolution, right?
So that's the book, Launching a Leadership Revolution by Chris Brady and Orrin Woodward.
Okay.
So here's one of the things that I'll be talking about in my leadership, you know, my leadership talk. And so for people to be most successful, this is what these two experts, and both, just, you know, they were on Inc. magazine's top 50 leadership people of all time. But Orrin Woodward actually is the only person who mentored somebody else on the list. So these are considered by Inc. magazine, that's a credibility source, to be two of the experts, but one has actually mentored another one on the list. And so this is one of the things that I use, and just see if this sounds at all like Jack Canfield kind of stuff. People need an empowering, exciting, positive, encouraging environment where mistakes are accepted as long as they're learned from, where success is rewarded, and where processes make sense and get results.
Nice. Some mission statement sounds like.
No, so I have a question for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically unpack that one statement in my leadership program. And when I talk about empowering people, I'm going to be talking about taking responsibility, right? You want to encourage people to take responsibility, no blaming, no complaining about things. So exciting and positive. I'm going to be talking about people want to be encouraged, right? The easiest way to change your culture is to genuinely appreciate people. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Well, I've heard it before.
Right. I'm ordering
like, look at just say, where mistakes are accepted as long as they are learned from. Positioning failure as just a learning opportunity, right? Where success is rewarded, take the time to reward people. This is one of the biggest opportunities for what I'm going to talk about, and particularly at this company, is I don't think they took the time. And then I have a story about where, you know, I was working at a corporate environment. We had a quote-unquote tiger team. We ended up winning the President's Award at a Fortune 50 company. And the reason we did that was because we had every month we had a town hall meeting where people were recognized. And on top of it, other people could recognize people. We created a culture of looking for things to recognize for people. So that was that Staples, that was easy button. So I would nominate and say, Joanna, I just want to thank you so much for the help that you did on the book for me. You made it so easy, and I'm nominating you for that was easy button. Oh, yay, bring Joanna up. I tell the story, and you go, thank you. And you got it. That was easy button and a $10 gift card to Starbucks. And what it did, if you think about this from what we know of Jack Canfield, is it created an environment where people were looking for things to appreciate in one another, because they knew every month they were going to get up there and people were going to be appreciating and appreciating other people. So we created an environment of appreciation as opposed to an environment of complaining and bitching and whining. That's one of the stories I'm going to use and say where processes make sense and get results. But ultimately, for your organization, you have to be honest about it and say, set goals, hold people accountable to them. And if you miss them, go, okay, why did we miss that? Different. So there you go. That's my corporate talk on leadership.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm guessing the whole book that insight.
So this book in mind, it's not necessarily something that you're going to be like, oh my God, I've never heard that before, but it is so well organized, and it does have things. I mean, there's one on here that's almost identical to Jack Canfield's feedback. It's almost identical to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what we're teaching are universal truths, and it's our messaging. It's how we connect to it, and how people are going to connect to the message that we're bringing, our voice to it. So Matt, you want your corporate speech? That's going to be mine.
Okay. I just ordered it on Amazon. It sounds like it's going to need to be tweaked. I mean, obviously a little bit though from like where we're going with the other stuff though, right? I mean, it's a little bit of a.
It is tweaked.
Yeah.
But it isn't different.
Are you still going to call it like choice is your superpower?
I don't know. I haven't really thought through that piece. Like this one, I'm going to be talking about leadership. So it's a very specific to leadership. And this would be great. See, if I had a book and it said, oh, by the way, I have a book called Your Superpower that you can buy in the back of the room. So for me, I don't want to lose sight of the book because I actually think it's a really important piece to this. And it's about the stories that we're going to be connecting to it. But I do get where you're at as far as monetizing it. I'd like to monetize and free up some of my time. But I don't think they're necessarily exclusive. But I think for right now, if we're going to be putting up the website, these are what our offerings, we got to have those nailed down. So I'm going to think that we should put it on maybe hold, but come back in, I would say a month from now and go, because we really should have all these things nailed down by then and say, look, we're ready to go for that. I don't know if a month is reasonable, but Joanna's already got hers ready to go. I've got mine ready to go. You can start doing the coaching tomorrow, Matt. So, it's really working on this. If somebody said to you, okay, Matthew, I love what you have. I'd love to get you to come in and talk about, this choice is your superpower keynote. I'm pretty sure that you'd be able to get it done.
Yeah, I just got to do it. Like you said, I'm glad you made a few of those points though about the office and everything. So, because it's maybe not so much about clarity, as it is appreciation and gratitude. I like that, the team environment, building the culture of the team, say, versus the clarity. The clarity should already be there in the company vision, right?
So hold on. So this is the only other piece that's not in that one quote. Alignment to goals. If you want a problem in corporations, the biggest thing is misalignment. And this is what I would encourage people to do. It's going to sound kind of familiar. Is look, there's corporate goals. And I encourage people to write their goals that are in alignment with the corporate goals. What am I personally saying I'm going to do that's in alignment with these goals? So what you do is you say, this is the corporate goal. This is what we want to do on this, overall, this is our arching principle. This is our short-term goal or our near-term goal. What am I doing that's in alignment with both of those, the company policy and vision, and what is with the short-term goals? What am I holding myself responsible for? And you have people write down their goals towards work. And then you can also bring in your personal stuff as kind of a little thing and say, look, just so you know, you shouldn't just do this at work. You should do this at home. But right now, we're going to be focused on what we're on your achievement at this goal. Because you're a whole person, and you're going to have things that you want to do outside of work too, and you should do that. And so something like posting your 100 goals list and telling a story about that. So like, this is what I'm going to do for the corporation, but this is what I want to be for me outside of work. Because you should be able to bring both of those together.
Yeah.
Might be a bit of a stretch in a corporation, right? So you might have to be, careful on that one. elements of the corporate goals. I can't tell you how many times we've had problems with that. And I just had it recently on my project. We were all, an entire team, 8 people, marching towards a goal. We're like, all right, well, we got this done before the end of the year. Good for us, go here. And the VP went, well, that's not what I agreed to. And I mean, literally everybody was like, what? No, you have to finish that by the end of the year. We're like, we had it done in Q1. This is what we've been marching to forever. And you want us to pull it in by 3 months. And I'll tell you, credit to the team. There wasn't a lot of complaining. There's a little bit, but the manager who did it didn't complain. She just went, okay, obviously I'm not excited about this. I thought I'd been very clear. I'm a little frustrated, but this is what we got to do, and this is what the goal we have to reach. So let's focus on that. So it wasn't a large bitch session. So those are the things, like for me, complaining at work is another one that I think is a really important thing to talk about. And I can talk to you about it offline a little bit, Matt, or I'll get my stuff recorded and we'll see how it goes. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to propose that I do my leadership training, not this weekend, but next weekend to you guys. And I'd like to invite some people and get your feedback before I have the talk on Friday.
Okay.
With that, and that'll be kind of, you'll see what I'm doing and you can see what resonates with you and what you want to do. And same thing with you, Joanna. I think it's good. I'd like to actually hear some of these things so we can give you, some feedback on it. So let's start working through these things. I know, Matt, you've got this kind of Choice is Your Superpower kind of keynote you want to work on. So let's get these things like we've been doing in the past and get them going. All right, let's schedule them on the calendar and say, okay, let's get feedback on them and get them up and running and be prepared for when people say it's time to go. Is that fair?
Sure. I have a quick question. So I want to be respectful of the use of the term Choice is Your Superpower, especially Matt, since you've got the domain and everything. I love it. I mean, it's so encompassing. I just want to be sure that for example, Chris had the great idea of doing the Wonder Woman on the business cards. And I really think that that'd be something I'd really like to have before I leave for Canville, because otherwise it's a real estate card. And then I have my, Ocean's 11 card that just has my name. And then I write my number on it, whichever number I want him to have. But this legitimizes the conversation for me. And I just wanted to be sure it was okay to use that phrase as in reference you guys in the card, or, I know we don't have a website yet, but, partnering with Matthew Hale and Chris Neeram. What are your thoughts on using that in the conversation and early marketing to capture people?
I think any of the three of us can use it however we see fit.
Okay.
That's it. Use it however you want to.
I think it's our brand.
I feel like I'm out of the three of us, I'm the only one. It's our brand, the three of our brand. It's us. So yeah, you can use it, and I hope you use it. I almost thought it'd be cool, like, as we're starting, I'm doing Choice is Your Superpower in Albuquerque, and you guys are doing it in your own area, and it kind of...
Yeah, almost franchise effect. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. We're not going to overlap a lot in geography, so that's good. No, yeah, absolutely, you should use it. I think it's good.
I completely disagree. We will, eventually.
Right. Eventually, yes. Yeah, just in the beginning, I mean. So it's like, yeah, and so what? So what if they go, oh, I think I've heard that before. It's like, yeah, that's one of my partners probably. We're kicking ass. So yeah, for sure. Use it as however you see fit, Joanna.
Great, thank you.
You just got to send me $1 every time you say it out loud.
Sure.
All right. Now, to these points, so there's some other, let's see, we've got about half an hour. So before I go off on my tangent here, but Joanna, first, I appreciate you asking about that. But the way we see this, and this is why we invited you to become part of the book also, is, look, you've been here since the beginning. You were here when I went, Matt, don't throw that line away. It's just afterwards, I talked to him afterwards. I called him afterwards. I'm like, holy crap, that's your brand, right? That's not a throwaway line. That is a brand. Mm-hmm. It is going to capture people's attention. Look how many freaking superhero movies there are out now. It is such a great idea. So a great brand. So one of the things that I should be looking down, I'm going to put this to follow up, is to, I don't know, trademark it. So I'll find out how much it is to trademark it. Mark. So I'll ask Angie to follow up on it. I think it's kind of a key piece of trademark.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
We got the website is great, but we really probably should just trademark it. I think it's trademark worthy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
So, so let's, again, these are the things where capital is going to help us, because I have freaking no idea how much it's going to cost to trademark something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look at it as it's our brand. You were here since the beginning. You've been working with us on it. So I look at that. This is the core team. And, we're going to develop things that we're going to be able to do in our own space, but it's under this umbrella. And at some point, we're going to have to talk about, how we're going to break up our monetization of it, right? I have a number of ideas on it, but I'm sure you guys do too. I'm always of the mind that the person who's the doing should get the majority of the fee of whatever it is, and then a percentage go back to cover the cost, and then anything after the cost is something that we're going to split, and we're going to have to figure that. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure those kind of things out and what we want to do. I don't know if it's necessarily the most important thing right now, because we can talk and argue over fee splits and all those kind of things and discuss it, but we should have a process. I think it's probably more important, and then just trust that we're going to figure out something that's fair.
Right.
So I think that's at least where I'm at. So one thing I'd like to do is, just so we can end as far as action items here, is describe your offering, and like Matt, what they said is your picture that you want to use.
Are you talking about the NSA?
And the bio. So if we can have those things for a website, I think that's probably job one. So we can look, here it is, get some feedback on it, get something up and say, okay, look, I've got to tweak to my bio, or I've got to tweak to my offering description, or whatever that is. I think that's an important thing for us to do, because I'd like to get the website, at least a landing page or something basic, something that's workable up as soon as possible. And these are kind of important pieces to it. All right. Is that fair?
Yeah. Do your resources know how to do web work, like the actual putting it together, or?
No, they're either going to outsource it, or they're going to do like a Wix, I don't know. Is that what it is? There's a website, like there's, it's like a plug and play.
Yeah, I've heard that one. That one is a little bit limiting. I think WordPress is more popular. That's why I chose WordPress when I was looking into it a year ago. And like I said, we can use Make Inspired Choices if you want. I do own Choices Your Superpower, but I only own the domain name. Like I haven't bought a suite, like WordPress to go with it. But if we want to use like Make Inspired Choices, literally, if we start putting this together, and like Angie, or if it's Angie that puts it together and kind of comes up with a format, like I said, Xander got on that Upwork and outsourced it to some dude in India and got it done in 2 weeks for $200.
Wow.
So we're not talking like a lot of money here. And like he said, all he said is I had to just talk to him at weird times because they're in India. So sometimes I was on the call at 5 a.m. And then moving forward, they charge like $15 an hour or something like that for changes. So he's like, because once you get it going, you might want to change a little bit. And then it's simple and easy. You just email them, hey, update this part. He even gave me the guy's name and everything. Like, so when I go to Upwork, I can find that guy specifically because this guy's a whole team. It's a whole business, actually. This is what they do. And, our money goes further over there, and that's why it's so cheap. So, so don't spend any money on websites, and, because there are cheap options right now.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, and thank you for that, because we were going to work with someone, but he was going to basically be like I'm going to put it into either a WordPress or a Wix, something that's easy for you guys to update, so we don't have to necessarily go, call somebody on the phone or create something to make minor changes to it, because we're going to it's going to grow as we're going through it.
Yeah.
I like this idea of, like you said, have it done in India and just as like outsource it to India or whatever.
Well, yeah, because what it is they know what they're doing. If you look at my website, Make Inspired Choices, like, it's okay, but I did that all on my own, not knowing anything. So if someone just made it good, and then we can go in and do a few minor tweaks, that part's easy too then. So so that might be the way to go. And like I said, I mean, for $200-300, I mean, that's got to be better. And because I know that Brian from Canfield's thing he always goes to, remember that redheaded guy that does the I think he charges quite a bit. So someone here locally will probably be way more expensive than that.
Well, yeah, just it's America.
Oh.
Our cost of living is higher. All right, so so just as far as action items, and then we can move on if something else comes up. Was describe your offerings, picture for the website, in your bio. As far as the business cards, so Joanna, I think you should just design them yourself with your Wonder Woman logo on it.
I think so too.
Then send them out to us. I'd like to see I'd like to see it. Send us
your idea come to life.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
It's weird. I was thinking of, like during the Halloween, I have one where I was dressed up as Superman. So, so we just gotta get Matt dressed up. That's all. We'll be perfect. We'll have our own.
You're into some weird shit, man. But all right. Thank you.
I think Matt would make a good Catwoman. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Finally, somebody recognizes. Okay, so I like that. The online bios and the blurbs about our offerings, right?
Right.
Okay.
And, let's do 3 pictures just so we can, just have a couple pictures. If you have any video also, since websites are key on kind of a video clip of you kind of talking, or a keynote. That's one of the things I'm going to do at this keynote is I'm going to get a videographer just so you can see me on stage, or maybe we can talk to Jack Canfield, Joanna from the Train the Trainer kind of piece, but or something for when you're speaking engagement, just getting you up there and seeing you.
The pictures, and I've paid to have it videoed before. I'm horrible at watching my own videos, so I probably have stuff I just haven't gotten to look at. So, okay, just.
Well, what about even just shooting our own intro video, like a little 30-second?
Absolutely. You can do it. Absolutely. And look, it's yes. I guess that's a short answer.
Anything?
Well, something, so for video content is my understanding as far as the way it looks is an important piece of it now, of your website. I think for us, it's a nice to have. It doesn't prevent us from getting the website up and started. There's a lot of coaching websites that don't have necessarily a lot of video on it.
Yeah.
You don't have to get too crazy about it. All right. So we've got kind of our action items here. I think that's a good start for where we're at. And like I said, I'd like to, let me look at the calendar here real quick. So I'd like to propose the 5th, if you guys don't mind.
That's not going to work.
40-minute.
That's not going to work.
No, you're out?
No, I'm out.
I'm in Scottsdale.
That's the weekend we weren't going to meet.
Okay.
I could do as early as the 7th, though. When's your talk?
My talk is, is the 11th. My talk is the 11th. So how about the following week? What is that? Is that the, oh no, the 5th. The 5th is when you're out, right?
Yeah, we're both out that day. So I could do as early as that Sunday night if you just want to go over it, or
all right. The question is,
Tuesday.
Going to put the pressure on me. at least get a rough draft by this weekend, or we want to meet this weekend and we can, would that be?
Yeah, or I'll throw in another time. I mean, I can meet with you most evenings too. Let me see. Or we can pick another morning as well if you need an extra time slot.
All right. Well, my wife is going to be away at BTS, and I know Joanna's going to be away at BTS. Are you leaving the 1st?
Yep. But not till the evening or afternoon.
Okay. Monday is my big day at work, so maybe next Tuesday morning. I don't know. Next Tuesday morning maybe works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
Okay.
I can do
It's either Tuesday morning or this Saturday. Either one. Which one's better for you guys?
To hear you talk?
Well, I'm going to do a 40-minute presentation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're meeting this Saturday anyway, right? So if you need to do that, that's fine with me. If that gives you enough time, or if you just want to get it started by Saturday and then maybe Tuesday we wrap it up again. And
Joanna, are you okay with that? I don't want to.
I can do both or either.
So let's put it this way. If I set a deadline of having it done by Saturday, I'll have to work on it.
Okay.
That probably forces me to start focusing on it a little more aggressively than I was planning, and gives me a little more time for feedback. So if you guys are okay with a rough draft on Saturday, I'd like to go through it, and then maybe I can get your feedback and redo it 2 weeks later or something right before my presentation. So I can get some feedback and get moving. So I'm just going to shoot for Saturday and then see if I can maybe get another date in before you guys are away. All right?
okay. Okay. And Joanna, Chris had a good point too. I'd love to hear anything you have too that you want to, what your offering is going to be.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
And any of these can go from 20 minutes to 2 hours. So,
okay, let's go with the 2-hour one then.
okay.
No, but I mean, seriously, if Chris is going to talk 40 minutes or a half hour, excuse me, if you want to do, well, maybe not this Saturday, then maybe we shouldn't do too much, but yeah, just whenever you let me know.
Good idea is just like you were saying, I've got a 20-minute version, and then all the 20-minute version is an extended version with exercises and more stories. And that's
Okay.
the idea of starting with the shorter version, and then we can practice the extension versions.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's probably a good thing for you to start with, Matt, is your choice is your superpower keynote. You've already got the other pieces here, and just kind of reframing it.
Yeah.
Getting to that point, start with your like a 20-minute presentation. It's like the teaser, and like, okay, well, I have I have an hour keynote or whatever it is that I think these are all things that you can tweak. You just add more or take out some to get it done. All right. Well, I'm good on our topics. Anything else that you guys want to go over today?
No.
So
No.
Saturday we're off. I'm sorry. I was checking my calendar and we're doing Tuesday also.
Well, I think we should meet Tuesday either way.
I like that.
I think we should meet Tuesday either way, just because
We need it.
We're gonna be out. You're gonna be in
Right.
Seattle, and you're out of pocket then, and Matt's gonna
Right.
be up in a cabin doing whatever he does up there.
No, let's not talk about that, but yes.
Yes. He's gonna shave the other part of his head.
That's right. I'm gonna try to even it out. Yeah. So okay. So we'll meet Saturday. Chris is talking, and then we'll meet Tuesday morning, and we'll figure that out Saturday. But yeah, as long as we keep talking and everything, this is good. I really appreciate all that input on the business stuff, Chris. Like I said, I just ordered that book on Amazon as you were talking, so I'll get reading that as well.
Well, you'll find that, and I mean, like I said, you'll get ideas. You'll be reading through that and go, oh God, I can use all these Jack Canfield principles to reinforce these concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody got a killer opening they like to do?
For leadership?
No, just like to open up the talk or what? Yeah. Yeah, maybe, yeah, more for a business.
Well, so it depends on what your topic is, but we could go through that. We could go through that. So for
Okay.
opening for me, we'll see. Well, you'll see on Saturday. It's going to force me to think about it. For me,
Okay.
let's just do it then. But I don't know if it's killer just yet. But I'll get
Fair enough. Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
like it's always do something that's going to grab. If you can do something that's going to grab people's attention, and it's really just going to depend on what your what your key points that you're trying to hit here. So what do you think if you're a leader in the organization, what do you think your employees want?
Donuts on Friday.
And just say, is it donuts on Friday? You can put donuts up on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Or you could
That's
be,
like,
you know,
I like that.
my guess is it's probably a little more than just donuts on Friday. Or why do they like donuts on Friday?
Yeah. That's a good name for the talk, Donuts on Friday. Make your employees feel like it's Donuts on Friday every day. Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. It'll be good to hear you talk then. So,
Yeah.
um,
And look, I'm looking forward to the feedback. Anything else, or should we call it?
Good.
I'm good too.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you supporting me on this one. And I'm nothing like a deadline to make you go, got to put this thing together.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
We got goals, team. I like it.
And I would also like to suggest maybe our timelines. What are we going to look at our timelines to get this up and running? As far as, and to hold ourselves accountable to say, okay, do you have, your keynote? Are you ready? If I asked you tomorrow to do a talk on this, are you ready to go? Like that kind of stuff. Or if there's a new one that we want to explore. So Matt, I know you want to, I would suggest that maybe work on your keynote also, and you be up next as far as getting a rough draft together on your superpower, if you're going to do it for businesses or who your audience is. And then Joanna, I'd like to hear your women in leadership one.
Okay.
We're all going to be exploring that one. So if those are the kind of things I think would, for me,
priority
would be higher priorities. Because look, you can start booking $3,000 keynote speeches for, we start doing that. I mean, and you get 3 of those a month, you're scratching on 10 grand a month. So
yeah,
that's significant, a significant help to moving the ball forward.
Yes, exactly.
And so we'll just to go over it, describe the offerings, picture and a bio. Let's get those together so we can get a website up relatively quickly and start pointing people to it. All right.
Are you guys going to be using a professional photographer? Or
I don't know yet. I've got some stuff from the Jack Canfield from we were in Train the Trainer. There's a bunch. I'm going to ask them. I say, look, can I get some of the photos from that?
Okay.
I can go through it of me because I don't think I have them. So that's got me on stage. Got the nice blue background. That whole thing when I was doing my talk. Maybe there's some video I can get out of it. So I like that kind of stuff. I'm going to ask them for that because they had a professional photographer there. If not, I'm going to hire a professional photographer for this next keynote and ask them if I can bring one in. So
okay, Joanna, you two, you're looking professional, or like speaking professional. Or are you going to be like Lewis Howes and sit on a motorcycle in the desert or something?
No, I won't. Well, I guess I'm going to Scottsdale, but
yeah, there you go.
I've had professional videography done. Like I said, I haven't really looked at it with the idea of clipping pieces of it out to see if it, the lighting in the room was something I liked. It's pretty amazing what we can do on our phones. So I don't think lighting and background and content, I love the stage presence because it looks like you're in front of a big audience, Chris, like the Train the Trainer. I mean, that's the best of the best stage setup right there. There's a reason it's backlit with blue. It probably doesn't get any better than that, but for us to recreate that is tricky. But I think I think it is important to have anything that's done in a presentation form or keynote to be videoed some, especially if the room's full.
Okay. Awesome. All right, guys, that's great.
Photographer, believe me, you don't need to have the room full.
Right. You're so right about that. You're right.
You know, look, I had a stand-up show on Sunday night, and literally there was 5 people in the front row, and then nothing until the very, very back of the bar. There was 3 people in the back of the bar who were disengaged, 2 people at the side, one of my friends on the back, and then 2 other comics. And that was my room.
Nice.
And 2 people left just before I went up to perform. Like, all right, what am I going to do here? But I just focused on the 5 people, and I ended up having a killer set. But I engaged with the crowd, and like the 5 people there. I'm like, okay, there's 5 of us, so I'm just going to introduce myself to each one. Hi, I'm Chris. What's your name? And I went. But as far as, you know, if you were videotaping me, you wouldn't necessarily know that, you know, that's what was going on. So, you know, it's a relative thing, right?
Sure.
You know, sure. You can have five engaged people laughing at the right spots, and that's more than enough. So it's all good.
All right, great.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, have a good day.
Have a great day. Bye.
All right, bye, everybody.